Hey guys, just before I start this video, just want to say I do stream on Twitch, so please do check out the link here or click the link in the video description to take you to my channel. Hopefully you can interact with us, play some games with us, and maybe talk phones. Anyway, enjoy the video. There are two routes you can take when buying Android phones. You can get a phone with heaps of features that can get bogged down, or you can get a phone with limited features but that is smooth and seamless to use in the future. Hi, I'm Ryan Thomas with Failtech, and these two phones, the S5 and the Nexus 5, are perfect examples to put head to head in form versus function in an Android phone comparison. Now, just before we get started, there will be links to where you can find both of these devices in the video description below, and please do check out that Twitch. I really would like to see you guys in the stream and definitely interacting and playing games and talking to me about phones or whatever. We've had a couple do it already, so please do that. The standout issues I feel I need to point out are that the Nexus 5 can tend to go into boot loops since it's an LG phone, and the S5 can have some major software issues, so I do advise to take these into consideration before purchasing, and please do research before buying because they can be very big problems. Both of these phones came out in around late 2013 and early 2014 and cost anywhere from £100 to £200 depending on the condition and where you buy it from. I wouldn't recommend buying these brand new because of course they are going to depreciate in value and they're not exactly modern phones. The designs of these phones aren't too similar, but the build materials are fairly similar. So you have plastics all around with both, and they do take a bit of a battering over time with fairly obvious hole in the side of the showcase Nexus 5. You do get on-screen buttons on the Nexus 5, which seem to be built into the OS, and on the S5 you get off-screen capacitive backlit buttons, including your back and reset buttons, flanking the physical home button, which is also a fingerprint scanner. The thing is that despite both these similar builds, you're getting two very different phones in terms of usable physical features. And by this, I don't mean the similarly sized displays or similar placement of the side buttons, but the fact that the S5 has a fingerprint scanner, micro SD card reader, heart rate monitor, removable battery, wireless charging, and IP67 water and dust resistance. The Nexus 5, on the other hand, has none of those features. Arguably, you do get a much nicer looking and feeling chassis on the Nexus 5, again that is debatable, so really it's a big decision to make. But overall I feel the build is kind of nicer on the Nexus 5, if not just a little bit worse in terms of its quality, and then on the S5 you actually get more physical features. The displays on both these phones are of a similar size at around 5 inches, and both are responsive with capacitive digitizers. Both have the same resolution of 1080p, but they are different technologies. On the Nexus 5 we have an IPS Plus panel, meaning that you're getting a real gem in terms of viewing angles and color reproduction accuracy, and on the S5 we have a Super AMOLED panel with amazing blacks and great contrast and saturation. I personally do prefer the S5 screen as it gets much brighter outdoors, and I've always been a big fan of OLED panels. I just like them. But that's not to say the LG display isn't great, because it really is. Lots of people love LG's IPS displays, such as the ones found in the G6 and the V20, although in the V30 they have switched over to the OLED side, which I'm really happy about, and I really want to check out that phone if I can find the money. But overall the displays are plenty sharp enough for everyday use in content consumption and web browsing and everything, so I would recommend these displays. They're awesome. There is absolutely no comparison when it comes to the cameras. Let's be honest, Nexi have never really been great in terms of the cameras up until the 5X and the 6P, which were pretty good, and the Nexus 5 is just no exception to the previous rule. You're getting an 8 megapixel shooter with f2.4 glass, which doesn't produce amazing photos by any means, but in good light such as being at the beach or maybe out at the park, you'll be fine. It can shoot 1080p video and has optical image stabilization, which is a bonus and something that you cannot say for the S5. However, the S5 has got a much better 16 megapixel sensor with f2.2 glass and the ability to shoot UHD or consumer 4K video at 30 fps and slow-mo at 720p 120 fps. Overall, I would take the S5 if you want a better camera, because you can also shoot to your heart's desire with the ability to write to the micro SD card at up to the size of a mid-range SSD. The secondary cameras are fairly different too, with the Nexus 5 utilizing a 1.3 megapixel sensor with f2.4 glass and the S5 rocking a 2 megapixel sensor with a very wide f2.4 lens, meaning that you're going to be getting those great group selfies, and if you want to fit more people in your shot, get the S5. The great thing about reviewing so many phones is you get to see the difference in performance in terms of software. Now these two phones might share the similar platforms in terms of the Snapdragon 800 on the Nexus 5 and 801 on the S5, with both having 2GB of RAM, but the Nexus 5 just takes the performance crown here for me. It's no competition because the S5 stock software was just never good enough in my opinion. Lots of awesome subscribers have also installed custom software on the devices, so shout out to all of you lovely people, and you people will utilize the better kind of CPU on the 801. I was never actually able to install any software, as I sold it straight to Ross, who was giving it to his sister, so I wasn't able to actually have it long enough to install custom software on it safely. I wish I'd got the chance to install Lineage or something, because it would have been awesome, as you guys are telling me this custom software on this phone just completely transforms, and it wouldn't surprise me. Both are rocking 6.0.1 Marshmallow as stock software, which is great and rather up to date for phones of this age, but not exactly cutting edge. The Nexus is going to be heaps easier to install custom ROMs onto, so I would say that if you really want a more future-proof phone overall, maybe pick that one. I say maybe because the S5 has a removable battery, so you can change and upgrade it, whereas the Nexus 5's isn't easily user serviceable, and so it would be a much harder job. I only mention this because the Nexus 5 has a puny 2300 mAh battery versus the 2800 mAh cell found in the S5 before you even upgrade it. However, the standby time on the Nexus 5 is stunning, getting me well over 3 days without a problem. The same cannot be said, however, for the S5, which I can only assume is down to the software. TouchWiz back at again. The speakers are equally bad and neither are front facing, so not great quality. Maybe the Nexus 5 has a slightly better speaker, I don't know, I just would use the valuable headphone jack or Bluetooth connectivity. As for ports, microB 2.0 on the Nexus and microB 3.0 on the Galaxy, with a delightful aforementioned headphone jack, which both of them support. As previously mentioned, the S5 does have a fingerprint scanner, albeit not a great one, whereas the Nexus 5 does not. I use the fingerprint scanner so much I may just have to disregard the Nexus 5 for this, which is really frustrating. With these two phones, it's either the clean and efficient Nexus 5 or the featureful and manic S5. It's all down to your personal desires. I would take the S5 and put custom software on it if your guys' recommendations are anything to go by. In conclusion, you'd be hard pressed to find any modern mid-range smartphone this price range with a better screen, or in the way of the S5, any more features or a better camera. Thank you all so much for watching. Your support really does mean a lot to me, guys. Please do like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, and tell the community in the comments your thoughts on phones or whatever. And tell me, please, do you guys want to see the iPhone SE or maybe not? I don't know. Just let me know. And please do subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.